Hello, recently I saw this in the theatre, the Marylebone Theatre in London, The Dream of a Ridiculous Man. It's based on a short story by Dostoevsky, and it's an adaptation for the stage by Laurence Boswell. And it was really a fascinating experience at the theatre. It's a one-man show. The unnamed hero is played by Greg Hicks, and he performed the part brilliantly, bringing in different accents for the kind of various people, real and imagined, in this story. And what's the story about? Well, it's in roughly three acts, you could say. It's about a man who has kind of lost faith in humanity. He's adopted a kind of nihilistic stance of life. Nothing has any meaning, and he's depressed and anxious. He kind of gets involved in brawls in a local pub, etc. All this is based in East London in this adaptation, and he meets this homeless girl who he kind of brushes off. She's later revealed to be an immigrant. And he's got these voices in his head, and he looks at the stars and he senses that he needs to end it all. He's managed to get a gun, he's going to kill himself. And then he falls into a sleep in his flat, and he dreams that he has actually committed suicide. He's lying in his cold coffin, and he's taken away by this angelic being to an alternate universe, to another world, a kind of Edenic Earth, heaven, if you like, a perfect version of Earth, where it's described as a Greek archipelago before tourism. And here he encounters these wonderfully wise, spiritual, and beautiful people, untainted by sin. And he feels a connection with these people, and he feels a sense of peace and joy and acceptance amongst them. They're not interested in his past. They're just there to make him feel welcome. However, he spoils this Eden. He begins to lust after one of the girls there, and it all escalates and snowballs. And before he knows it, because of his presence, like I suppose, a drop of black ink in a cup of water, it spreads, and before he knows it, all kinds of villainy and evil is taking place. They've got this shady ruler, and it all goes to pot. And then he wakes up, and he wakes up a new man. He now has a sense of purpose. He wants to spread his message, that it's not too late to change. It's not too late to make a better world. And he goes around trying to right past mistakes, sharing his story in a somewhat eccentric fashion, acting it out to anyone who'd listen, whether that's shopping malls or in a theatre with the roof, as he says. He even tracks down the immigrant girl he brushed off earlier. And I guess the story is about a new life, about change, about a new beginning, but also about human depravity, about how humans will always mess things up, but there is always hope, and we can make a better world for ourselves. Now, of course, Dostoevsky was a religious man, and that comes across quite admirably in this adaptation by Laurence Boswell. There's a sense that the hero is trying to foster a sense of God's kingdom coming to bear in this dark world. But even if you're not religious, there's this sense of hope and a sense we can right past wrongs, despite this inherent kind of darkness in our hearts. So it's a very powerful performance, a very powerful play based on a wonderful short story. And although it's stopped, I think it's finished now in the Marylebone Theatre. If it's ever revived, please check it out, and you know, check out this adaptation, and certainly check out the original short story, The Dream of a Ridiculous Man by Dostoevsky. And once again, high praise to Greg Hicks, who performed so marvellously in this production. All the best. Bye.